Now, he's okay, thumbs up. Thank goodness for that. But is this going to be Cilic's point? Because he fell into the net here. So I think this should be Cilic's point, because he's... Oh, it's tough to tell, isn't it, whether the ball bounces twice or not. But, I mean, you never know in tennis, do you? As in, he could easily have rolled an ankle there. And we're all presuming he's just going to get through. It has been a clay court clinic from Stan Wawrinka, who for the first time in his career makes 3 consecutive Grand Slam semi-finals. 3rd straight semi-final here at Roland Garros. And he's beaten Marin Cilic for the 8th straight time. 6-3, 6-3, 6-1 in an hour and 40 minutes.
No Spanish man had reached the semi-finals of the French Open since 2014, when Rafael Nadal went on to win the last of his 9 Roland Garros crowns. There would be Spanish representation in the last 4 this year, though, as he faced countryman Pablo Carreño Busta in the quarter-finals.
Second serve, double fault, set point now. Well, that's disappointing there. 2 double faults to finish the first set. So it's Nadal 6-2 in 32 minutes. Carreño Busta, I believe, is going to take a medical timeout. There it appears to be stomach muscle. I think he's done. There we go. That was a good call. I thought that would happen. It just hurt. He sort of lifted his arm up to hit that overhead, gave it an extra bit of pace and just winched. So a very unfortunate situation. You know that Nadal does not want to win matches this way against a youngster, but a tough way to finish the match there.
This was a repeat of last year's semi-final. Could the Austrian finally beat the defending champion for the first time?
Okay, gentlemen, the same match format as...
What a game from Thiem, from 15-40 down. Gets back to 5-all. A set of epic proportions, and it's the young pretender Dominic Thiem who's taken it after an hour and 13 minutes of pure sporting drama. It's Thiem's time as he knocks out the defending champion with a quite astonishing performance. Through to the semi-finals for the 2nd year running, but he has laid down a marker. Defeats Novak Djokovic 7-6, 6-3, 6-love in 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It was the first time since 2010 Novak Djokovic didn't reach the semi-finals at Roland Garros. First time since 2009 he was defeated in straight sets, Jim. What happened there?
Well, this is the period of time where Novak's very much in the sort of he's lost in the wilderness effectively. He's got Pepe Imaz, the 11-piece guy from Spain in his corner. Andre Agassi has just come on board in Madrid and Rome after Novak had dismissed his entire team during Monte Carlo. Becker had jumped ship at the end of 2016. So it's all starting to go wrong. We don't know yet that he has the elbow problem that would eventually need surgery too. Thiem very much ascendant at this point in his career, already logged a couple of wins over Nadal on the clay in South America. He's coming on strong. But Novak completely disappeared in that third set. He flat out tanked it. There's no other way to say it. He won just a handful of points. He basically didn't put in any effort at all, and that was the thing that really set off the alarm bells for all of us that were watching, Nico.
Yeah, Novak Djokovic had beaten Thiem in the semifinals of Rome 6-love, 6-1. And back comes Thiem hitting huge forehands. Granted, Novak was not happy to be playing there at Langland, but you saw the face, and you mentioned the love and peace time that Novak had, and he just rolled over in the third set. But remember, Thiem was playing his best tennis, had not lost a set up into the semifinals, and I run into Gunter Bresnik, who at the time was Thiem's coach, and I said, so, does the kid have a chance against Rafa? And Gunter looked at me and he said, not a chance, not yet. He needs 4 or 5 more of these matches if he wants to be the owner of that court.
I remember that too. I remember that too, Steve. I remember Gunter Bresnik being quoted widely in I think the New York Times. He has no chance against Nadal, none.
Yeah, he said it.
It was
the first time. It was the first time Nole was bagel since 2005, and that's just everybody was dumbfounded by that one. We know what happened after the Wimbledon quarterfinals when he retired. He had the elbow issue, and like Jim said, it all started to crumble, and he had to take a break.
Yeah, won that title in 2016 in Paris, went without a major title for more than 2 years after that, Jim. You mentioned no Boris Becker, but how about no Marian Vida? How important is Marian Vida to the success of Novak Djokovic?
Well, he was the stabilizing influence there for so many years. That was gone at this point in time as we're following the 2017 campaign here at Roland Garros. They would regroup in the spring season the next year. Agassi and Stepanek would try and keep things together with Novak. That would end after the Sunshine Double, and then you would see Vida come back into the camp. Some other key figures like Gigi would come back in as well, and that would seem to reset things for Novak. And once he had the elbow back in position, once he had some of his old team back in position, he started his historic climb again and started to make a move. But this was a real dark period for Novak. It was certainly a super bright period for Dominic Thiem, who's continued just to trend higher and higher, as we saw so dramatically in Australia this year, his fine performance at the Australian Open. But for Novak, this was the deepest depths of despair for him.
Well, we've seen it before, Jim, and he went in an incredible run, winning 5 out of 6 slams. I just think he let his guard down and crumbled personally, crumbled professionally. But you have to give it to Thiem. He was in the up and up. He finished 2017, actually November 2017, he reached his career high of number 4, and the guy started to poise himself as one of the challengers for the Big 3 or the Big 4, as it was at that time.
Yeah, he's been right on the edge, obviously, with Rafa Nadal at Roland Garros. Never really loses, only twice in the history. But Thiem is right there. Maybe the first guy under 30, active player, to hold a Grand Slam. We'll see what happens when tennis returns. When we return, we've got John Wertheim standing by, ready to go, going over his notes. I like the shirt there, buttoned up, got the glasses on. That's a lot of notes, John. He's going to talk about his interview with Stevie Johnson after an emotional win in 2017.